A mysterious formation emerges in a field of mustard plants. The perfectly symmetrical design is a phenomenon known as a crop circle.
Beneath the flattened wheat and barley of England's rolling countryside lies a mystery that has stirred imaginations for decades: crop circles. While popular media has long flirted with alien origins or secret energies pulsing through the earth, the truth behind these phenomena is far more grounded, yet no less fascinating. Crop circle researchers have made an underground discovery that no one was ready for. The tension between folklore and fact, between mystique and measurable data, defines the enduring intrigue of crop circles and the theories they inspire. Today, we'll unveil the whole truth. The enduring mystery of the crop circle. Phenomena, scattered reports of flattened crops without a visible cause appeared sporadically throughout the early 20th century. In the 1930s through the 1960s, vague mentions of unusual depressions in wheat fields emerged from parts of Europe and Australia. For instance, in 1966, a farmer in Tully, Queensland, reported seeing a saucer-shaped object rise from a lagoon, leaving behind a circular area of flattened reeds. This became known as the Tully saucer nest and received media attention in Australia. However, these early cases were largely anecdotal, poorly documented, and lacked the geometrical precision or repeatability seen in later decades. The modern era of crop circles is widely agreed to have begun in the 1970s in southern England, particularly in Wiltshire County. This region, known for its chalk hills and Neolithic monuments like Stonehenge and Avebury, became ground zero for what would become a global phenomenon. The earliest consistent reports came from around 1976 to 1978, where perfectly round, sharply defined circles were discovered in wheat and barley fields. At the time, the simplicity of the shapes led some scientists and farmers to consider natural explanations such as freak wind phenomena, whirlwinds, or animal activity. But as the formations multiplied and began to take on increasingly sophisticated geometrical forms, the idea that these were natural occurrences lost credibility. The mystery surrounding crop circles was about to get much deeper. Scientific investigations and anomalies. In the 1990s and early 2000s, as crop circle formations grew in number and complexity, a small but determined group of researchers sought to investigate the phenomenon using scientific methods. One of the most prominent of these efforts was spearheaded by the BLT Research team, named after its core members, biophysicist William C. Levengood, Nancy Talbot, and John Burke. This group claimed to have uncovered a series of biological and physical anomalies in both the plants and soils taken from crop circle sites. They argued that these anomalies could not be explained by conventional tools or human hoaxing. William C. Levengood, based in Michigan, was a materials scientist and published his findings in several papers, including a notable one in the peer-reviewed journal Physiologia Plantarum in 1994. His work focused on the plant stems from crop formations and found consistent evidence of node elongation, where the nodes or joints of the plants were lengthened beyond normal growth patterns, and expulsion cavities, which are small holes in the nodes, suggesting that internal pressure had forced moisture out. Levengood proposed that these changes could be the result of rapid heating from a burst of microwave energy. In addition to plant anomalies, the BLT team reported unusual soil characteristics from some crop circles. They observed changes in the soil's crystalline structure and documented the presence of magnetized iron particles, many of which were spherical and measured between 10 and 50 microns in diameter. These particles were found in concentrations significantly higher than in surrounding control samples. The team hypothesized that the presence of these particles and crystallization patterns could have resulted from intense and localized energy events, possibly involving plasma discharge or electromagnetic phenomena. Despite the intriguing nature of these claims, BLT's work has been the subject of serious criticism from the broader scientific community. No subsequent study has independently replicated Levengood's findings. Critics pointed out several issues: inadequate control samples, lack of double-blind testing, absence of peer-reviewed follow-ups, and the ambiguous origin of many samples. Levengood's later papers were published outside of mainstream scientific journals, often without rigorous review. Some researchers also noted that the conditions described by BLT, such as exposure to microwaves, could be artificially reproduced, thereby undermining the claim that these anomalies pointed to a non-human or mysterious origin. In 1999, students at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology undertook a practical experiment to replicate the types of anomalies that Levengood and his team had reported. The project, dubbed the MIT Hoax Experiment, used a portable microwave magnetron, salvaged from a common kitchen microwave oven, to heat the nodes of wheat plants in a controlled setting. Their experiment successfully reproduced both node elongation and expulsion cavities, closely resembling the biological changes documented by the BLT team. This raised doubts about the supposed uniqueness of BLT's findings and offered a plausible explanation that hoaxers, if equipped with simple tools like a battery-powered microwave device, could not only flatten crops in intricate patterns, but also leave behind traces that appeared anomalous under certain scientific tests. Further diminishing the credibility of the anomalous energy hypothesis was the fact that most crop circles studied by BLT were not sampled under strict chain of custody procedures. In many cases, the samples were collected after the formations had already been trampled by curious onlookers, and some circles had already been identified by others as man-made. These gaps in methodological rigor left BLT's conclusions open to interpretation and weakened the argument that the anomalies were beyond human capability. That said, the BLT research team did contribute to the broader crop circle discourse by introducing a level of technical detail and methodology not often found in fringe or UFO-centric circles. Their focus on microstructural changes in plants and soils laid the groundwork for further scientific discussions, even if their conclusions remained controversial. While mainstream science has largely dismissed their findings due to the absence of reproducible evidence and the ease with which hoaxing can mimic biological effects, the BLT studies are still frequently cited by proponents who argue for a more nuanced or yet unknown explanation behind some of the more complex crop formations. So, what do we know presently? Debunked or clarified claims. Many of the most persistent claims surrounding crop circles have been systematically examined and, in several cases, debunked or clarified through careful scientific observation and technological analysis. Among the most repeated assertions is that crop circles often appear without any visible signs of human entry, specifically without footprints, drag marks, or evidence of trampling. This idea has long been used to support theories that crop circles are made by non-human entities or unknown natural phenomena. However, detailed ground inspections and the use of infrared photography, particularly in the UK, where the majority of formations occur, have revealed that human traces do exist, albeit sometimes faintly. Studies conducted in Wiltshire and Hampshire, two counties with frequent crop circle activity, have shown that careful entry via tractor lines or the use of lightweight boards can leave minimal visible damage, especially if the soil is dry or compacted. Aerial and thermal imaging, employed by researchers and police drones in some instances, has detected disturbances consistent with footpaths and human activity. That's not all. The idea that crop circles disrupt electromagnetic fields or interfere with electronic devices is another frequently circulated claim. Some visitors have reported malfunctioning cameras, compass disturbances, or strange battery drain near crop formations, especially in hotspots like Silbury Hill and Eastfield in England. While such anecdotes are common, controlled scientific investigations have yet to produce consistent or verifiable results. In 2002, a team led by engineer Colin Andrews, who had documented over 3,000 crop circles, attempted to measure electromagnetic fields in and around formations using magnetometers and EMF meters. Most instrument failures and perceived electromagnetic anomalies remain anecdotal, and experts suggest they are more likely caused by device faults, environmental interference, or psychological suggestion, especially given the popularity of crop circles as paranormal attractions. Another theory suggests that plants within crop circles are influenced by infrasound or directed frequencies, such as microwaves, which supposedly cause them to bend naturally into intricate patterns. While some proponents cite lab-based experiments where plants have shown responses to certain frequencies, there is no credible evidence that plants in open agricultural fields can respond en masse to such stimuli in a way that produces precise geometric shapes. Sound wave experiments conducted under controlled greenhouse conditions, such as those by Dr. T.C. Singh in India in the 1960s, showed that certain frequencies can influence plant growth rate and direction. But these effects occurred over days or weeks, not in the immediate timeframes crop circles typically appear, which is often overnight. Furthermore, there is no verified case where plants have been observed bending into coherent geometric designs due to acoustic stimulation alone. Beyond these claims, many crop circle advocates have pointed to the sheer complexity of some designs as evidence that they must be beyond human capability. However, this assumption has been systematically debunked over time. The most famous instance occurred in 1991, when Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley, two artists from Southampton, admitted to creating over 200 crop circles since 1978 using simple tools like rope, a wooden plank, and a surveyor's tape. Their admission included demonstrations where they replicated intricate patterns under observation, some completed in less than an hour. In the years that followed, organized competitions such as those hosted by the International Crop Circle Making Competition in Berkshire, UK, proved that skilled teams could produce elaborate formations.
Was identical to the simple circles. We, of course, were led to the conclusion if the pictograms were not a natural phenomenon, then there was no reason to suppose the circles were either.
Complete with radial symmetry and fractal patterns, overnight and without leaving obvious traces. Many of these human-made formations have been mistakenly included in paranormal documentaries or books as unexplained examples. Speaking of examples, let's walk through some of these. Notable documented formations. One of the most widely circulated and debated crop formations in recent history appeared in August 2001 near the Chilbolton Radio Observatory in Hampshire, UK. Dubbed the Arecibo Answer, the formation was interpreted by some as a response to the Arecibo radio message transmitted by NASA in 1974, which contained binary encoded information about humanity, DNA, and our solar system. The formation mimicked the structure of the original message, but altered key components, such as the base pair composition of DNA and the representation of an alien being. A second formation resembling a face appeared nearby within days. While initially sparking interest among UFO enthusiasts and alternative theorists, experts quickly identified flaws in the binary encoding and logic, indicating that it was not the work of a technologically advanced extraterrestrial intelligence. For example, the binary sequence contained errors in nucleic acid bases that didn't correspond with known chemical structures. The formations were later admitted to be human-made. However, the precise creators never officially stepped forward. In 2013, another crop formation gained widespread attention in Salinas, California. This intricate design,
and you wake up to this. That's what happened to one farmer in California over the weekend.
featuring geometric symmetry and radial spokes, was initially thought to be unexplained and spurred a flurry of online speculation. However, it was soon revealed to be a marketing stunt orchestrated by the advertising agency for NVIDIA Corporation, aiming to promote their Tegra K1 mobile processor.
The ante here at CES 2014 with the Tegra K1 with 192 CUDA cores.
The formation included encoded references to the chip's specifications, such as the number 192, denoting its 192 QDA cores. Once NVIDIA released a promotional video showing how the formation was made using GPS-guided tools and precise measurement techniques, the mystery evaporated. Perhaps one of the most famous and perplexing formations remains the Julia set, which appeared in July 1996 directly opposite Stonehenge, one of the UK's most visited and surveilled ancient sites. The spiral-like pattern, resembling a fractal mathematical function known as the Julia set, consisted of 151 circles and stretched over 900 feet in length. It appeared in less than an hour during the afternoon, while tourists and pilots flew nearby, yet no one reported seeing it being made. The precision and scale of the design, coupled with its sudden appearance near such a high-traffic location, fueled speculation about non-human involvement. However, further analysis and crop circle maker testimonials later suggested that such a pattern could feasibly be produced using pre-calculated measurements, surveying tools, and coordinated human effort, especially if carried out just before or after a brief weather interruption. From a scientific standpoint, the consensus is clear. The vast majority of crop formations are human-made. Numerous researchers, including engineers, psychologists, and botanists, have studied these designs for decades. According to crop circle researcher and electrical engineer Colin Andrews, over 90% of crop circles can be definitively traced to human creators, and the remaining cases often suffer from insufficient data rather than genuine anomalies. Since the 1990s, aerial surveillance, thermal imaging, and on-site fieldwork have failed to uncover any indicators that would necessitate an explanation involving unknown forces. Some public misconceptions persist, particularly around how plants and soil behave in crop circles. Plants can indeed respond to certain audible frequencies. Studies in plant acoustics have shown mild changes in gene expression and growth patterns when exposed to music or tone generators, but these effects occur gradually over time and do not result in the spontaneous formation of geometric patterns. No peer-reviewed study has demonstrated that infrasound or electromagnetic frequencies can cause crops to bend into organized designs without physical intervention. Similarly, earlier claims that plant nodes are elongated or blown out by mysterious energy bursts have been replicated using simple microwave devices. In fact, the 1999 experiment at MIT demonstrated that a common microwave magnetron, the same type used in household microwaves, could cause internal stem heating and node deformation closely resembling those reported in some crop circles. Now, to the big reveal. Underground discovery that no one was ready for. Have you ever wondered why crop circles are mostly associated with the chalk-rich landscapes of southern England? Well, experts have actually pondered over this correlation between above-ground anomalies and underground realities. Wiltshire County, known for its high concentration of crop formations for instance, lies atop thick beds of chalk and limestone. These sedimentary rock layers are highly porous and have historically influenced water flow, agriculture, and even the layout of ancient settlements. Some theorists have suggested that telluric currents, or subterranean electrical currents flowing through the earth, might be influencing the appearance of crop circles in these regions. The concentration of crop circles in Wiltshire also draws attention due to its archaeological richness. The region is home to some of Britain's most iconic prehistoric landmarks: Stonehenge, Avebury Henge, Silbury Hill, West Kennet Long Barrow, and numerous Bronze Age burial mounds. Because crop circles often emerge near these sites, many have speculated about a mystical or energetic connection. Yet the more grounded explanation points to visibility and symbolism. These ancient locations are already heavily visited and culturally resonant, making them ideal targets for circle makers aiming to evoke intrigue and capture global attention. The historical weight of these monuments often enhances the perceived mystery of the formations, even if the actual cause remains mundane. Over the years, numerous stories have circulated about strange objects found beneath crop circles. These include rumors of buried metallic artifacts, magnetized stones, or even alien technology, unearthed during field investigations. Yet none of these accounts have yielded peer-reviewed documentation or credible physical evidence. No museums, academic journals, or institutional studies have authenticated the existence of such buried items in association with crop formations. One persistent claim among the fringe community is that crop circles appear above ley lines, which are alleged alignments of ancient landmarks that supposedly trace the Earth's natural energy grid. first popularized in the 1920s by amateur archaeologist Alfred Watkins, ley lines are not recognized in modern geology or cartography. Attempts to measure any electromagnetic properties along these lines have produced no scientifically replicable results. Similarly, geomagnetic grid theories that suggest energy nodes or earth chakras at certain locations have not stood up to scrutiny. These frameworks are often based on anecdotal correlations and lack empirical foundation. A particularly striking formation appeared at Milk Hill in Wiltshire in August 2001. Spanning approximately 780 feet and composed of 409 individual circles arranged in a six-fold spiral, it remains one of the largest and most elaborate crop formations ever recorded. Some observers claimed that magnetometers behaved erratically near the site and reported a low, persistent humming sound from underground. These observations, however, were never independently verified or recorded under controlled conditions. Investigators have since demonstrated that similar magnetic effects can be simulated using handheld microwave magnetrons, which generate electromagnetic fields that affect local instruments. The humming sound has also been attributed to natural sources like underground aquifers, wind patterns, or distant mechanical noise. So, while the geographical overlap between crop circles and historical sites is notable, it appears to be a product of strategic placement by human artists rather than supernatural guidance or geological signaling. Some crop circle events continue to raise eyebrows due to their sudden appearance in visible areas without any reported witnesses. The speed and precision with which some of these large formations are created, often overnight, have led to claims that no human team could have accomplished the task without detection. But investigations into circle-making groups, such as the Circle Makers Collective in the UK, have revealed the use of GPS devices, laser levels, coordinated walkie-talkie communication, and well-practiced teams capable of constructing intricate designs in a matter of hours. Time-lapse photography and eyewitness accounts of such efforts have confirmed the feasibility of rapid, covert execution. While many questions remain open for those drawn to the mystery, the scientific consensus remains firm. Crop circles, while captivating, continue to reflect human creativity, cultural fascination, and the persistent allure of the unexplained more than any evidence of hidden underground forces. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? If you did, please consider liking, dropping a comment, and hitting the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on our new uploads. Also, don't miss this video you see on your screen right now. It's truly unbelievable.